Good morning. I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk about what could be a challenging and really kind of a personal aspect to real estate. The question is, what is this home worth? Now, we hear that a lot. We'll be out helping people look at houses, doing showings, and they know what the asking price is. But then they want to know, well, what's it worth? And there are several ways to answer that. And I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about some of that because it really comes down to a very personal decision. So the first thing is setting an objective market value. This is kind of challenging, but there's a general process that a real estate professional will use for that. You start out by identifying similar properties that have been on the market or that are currently on the market. And you want to look in a very close geographic area. You identify the prices that were asked for those or paid for those homes. Then you want to adjust those prices according to the differences between that other house and the one that we're looking at today. So if that one had one more bedroom, then we need to adjust for the difference between that one and the one we're looking at. Once we've gone through that and we're able to get some good comps, they're called, or comparable properties, then we can create a range of value, saying that this house is has a value of between 700 and 725, let's say, just choosing numbers at random. Once we have that range, then it's up to the seller to decide how much they want to actually put down as the list price. So that's where that number comes from. But even once that's done, and no matter how carefully it's been done, there can be unexpected things happen. For example, it might be that the interest rates have gone up, and so people's ability to buy has gone down. So even though we've taken historical data to establish the value for the price or the asking price for this home, well, we may find that the market currently, for reasons totally outside of our control, don't support that asking price. That can happen easily in either direction. There could be something that could cause a high inflation in market values. And so we're asking 725, and suddenly we've got a bidding war that runs out up to 800. We just don't know. So it's very subjective. But then there's another issue, and that is determining what a property is worth to you personally. Now, let's start out with a disclaimer about this. We're not talking about the appraised value and the ability to qualify for financing of the purchase of the home. A lender generally will not want to loan more than the appraised value of the home, because if something went south, if the borrower could no longer afford to make the payments, the lender doesn't want to be left having loaned $1 million on a house that's now really worth only 800. They're in the hole on that, and that's not how they do business. So that appraisal, when you buy a house, is going to be critical to whether you can even get the loan. That's not the subject we're focusing on today. We're talking about a personal sense of value. Let's illustrate it this way. Say, for example, that there is a roadside stand selling nice cold bottles of water, and they're asking $1.99. You come along and you have a cooler in the back of your car filled with nice cold bottles of water. Do you have any reason or need to stop and pay $1.99 for a new bottle of water? Well, probably not. And if somebody asks, are those worth $1.99 to you? You might say no, because you already have the water you need. But what if instead you've just crawled in from the desert? You haven't had a drink in a day and a half. You are parched, and you've got $1,000 in your back pocket. Would you pay more than $1.99 for that water? Well, probably so. Our circumstances determine whether something is worth more or less to us personally. So let's bring this back to real estate for a minute. For example, there's a house that is 1 block away from the hospital. The asking price is $700,000. Now, a medical professional who works at that hospital may see that home as worth far more and may offer far more because they could be close to their patients and their practice. They wouldn't have to worry about drive time. When they get a call in the middle of the night, they're almost there already. For them, that proximity may make this property worth far more than it would to somebody else. Or maybe there's a house that's near your parents and it's being offered at $750,000. For someone moving into town with no particular specific needs, that might be a perfect price. But you want to be near your parents as they age. You want to be able to care for them. The house might be worth far more to you than to the random person who doesn't have that family connection to that area. Or let's look at it another way. You've got a close friend who has a home that's been appraised at $1 million. But they're moving and they offer it to you for $700,000. It's a kind gesture. They're being generous. And you've got the cash to buy that house. You could pay cash for it right now, $700,000, and you've got $1 million home. But you've been saving that money for retirement or for your kids' college expenses. Or maybe you just sleep better knowing that you have those reserves in the bank. Paying hundreds of thousands less than the market value might be too much for you. It might be that the house is not worth $700,000 to you, even though on the market it's worth $1 million, because of what it would cost you to get it. It might cost you that confidence for your retirement or your children's education or just your ability to sleep well at night. If that's the case, then buying it, even at a great price, might be a bad decision for you. So what's our conclusion here? Well, your decision to make an offer on a property will be based on more than just what houses are going for in the neighborhood. You are looking for the right kind of house in the right condition, in the right area, for the right price. And what makes it right for you may not be the same as what would make it right for someone else. Even so, having someone who can help you find the right home and get it for the right price will make the job easier for you. If you're interested in buying or selling, please give me a call so we can see if we can find the right answers for you. Jeff Tackett, 801-556-2259. I look forward to hearing from you. Y'all have a good day.